This presentation looks at my past and current practice to show how they inform the work I wish to do during this course. If you take photographs, make the photographs useful. Ansel Adams dedicated his life to documenting the dramatic landscapes of the American West and succeeded at safeguarding the country's most prized parks and wilderness areas. His work stands as an emblem of photography's power in drawing attention to environmental issues. Contrary to what Sontag suggested when she described photography as an act of non-intervention, Adams was not a passive spectator. She writes, "Photography is essentially an act of non-intervention. The person who intervenes cannot record. The person who is recording cannot intervene." Adams exploited the beauty of the natural environment through his photographs to ensure its protection. Today, environmental concerns are some of the most pressing issues faced by humanity. Our effect on the planet has been so profound that scientists have declared human influence the main driver of climate change. Therefore, it is no surprise that several practitioners have produced work based on issues affecting the environment. The series Picture from a Rubbish Tip by Keith Arnott depicts decomposing food, some in plastic packaging and some naked. Arnott used the medium of photography with a painter's sensibility to comment on the decay of contemporary society due to consumerism, our throwaway culture, and plastic. Dirty White Trash by Tim Noble and Sue Webster tackles some of the same issues. Using a pile of refuse, they created a couple's profile from trash. The two lie against each other, enjoying a cigarette and wine, oblivious to the decay created by their consumption. The artists have taken a rude term reserved for a lower economic class and with it indicted everyone. The work I produced over the past year during my BA studies at Falmouth University followed a similar trend. For example, Charity Begins at Home looked at household waste disposal and focused on fly tipping. Along the Wandle showed the litter left behind by people using the National Cycle Route 20 and how this litter pollutes the adjacent River Wandle. The plastic problem focused on plastic pollution and highlighted the fundamental issues we face with this miracle material. The final major project for my BA, Fragments, took pieces of plastic and soil samples recovered from a local fly tipping site to create micro landscapes that showed how these objects exist in the soil. It also showed some of the plastic pieces individually and presented them in a way that encourages the viewer to look at and analyze each fragment of plastic, similar to Tear the Things by Keith Arnott, where he depicted single items on makeshift plinth. Also, as in Tear of Things, I used the black background to emphasize the color of the objects, contrary to Mike Perry's advice from his feedback on this project. But like Mike Perry in his series More Plastic, I adopted a forensic approach to presenting this work. I used the scanner to create highly detailed images that revealed the impact of the environment on the objects, and following Perry's advice, I made titles for each piece that included the GPS coordinate of the location where the fragment was found, thereby tying each piece to a place. Also, the scanner allowed me to fulfill the main objective of this project, to see. I wanted people to see plastic wastes. I felt humans have become blind to the waste we generate. There's so much of it that we have become numb to seeing it. We are more likely to turn away and ignore garbage than to confront it. Sontag writes, "Photographs shock insofar as to show something novel. Unfortunately, the ante keeps getting raised, partly through the proliferation of search images of horror." Sontag's statement explains why photography and other visual communication tools sometimes appear ineffective in advocating for change to the amount of waste we produce. Since the amount of waste we generate is neither shocking nor new, I will focus on what we can learn from the waste we produce during this MA program. Human beings are mere placeholders in time, like zeros in a long number. Their garbage seem to have more staying power and a power to inform across millennia that complements and even substitutes for that of the written word. The wasteful habits of our country and our own time, the sheer volume of garbage that we produce and must dispose of, will make our society an open book. So, like an archaeologist, I intend to build my narrative through found objects. My current project, Out of Sight, is a portrait of my family created using discarded objects from our shed. We cleared out unwanted items during the national lockdowns. However, we couldn't donate these items because most of the local charities were not accepting donations. As a result of being out of sight, these objects remain forgotten until now. This project draws inspiration from the work done in found and trash art by practitioners such as Martial Deschamps with Fountain and Man Ray with The Gift. But my primary influence has been Checked Baggage by Christian Miendetma. Checked Baggage is an exhaustive catalogue of all the items confiscated from travelers in 1 week at Schiphol Airport. Miendetma wanted to capture the strangeness of the situation, the confiscation of what were sometimes personal items at a time when security was heightened, and demonstrate it visually. However, in Out of Sight, I am narrating a personal story through discarded objects. So I'm also looking at Koi Koi by Renko Kawashi, a series of images taken over 13 years of a family and friends. In some ways, this series is a family album presented with unmediated subjectivity. As with my current project, I will be working on projects in each module that address critical elements for my final major project. My final major project will explore our dirty love affair with trash. Besides exploring the narrative found in discarded objects, I will also explore concepts such as consumerism, power, class, sustainability, and history. Indeed, if our garbage in the eyes of the future is destined to hold essential information to the past, it already contains critical pieces of information to the present. So, what can we learn from the things that we throw away?